So we're talking a little bit about what are the results. When we talk about what are the results, there's a couple of things, as we mentioned, that we want you to take away with today, which is the data collection versus data analysis. When we talk about analyzing data, it goes simply beyond just reporting the data that you have. You're also thinking about trying to answer the evaluation questions that you've asked, and using the data, using an analytic framework, the other ways to make other ways to make sense of the data and make multiple conceptualizations of the data, and then also to use that data to inform decision making. And in a lot of instances, the evaluation questions, of course, should drive the analysis of the data, and in some cases you might find that sometimes people use the methodology to drive the analysis of the data, and it shouldn't. It really should be about the evaluation questions. So you're trying to use the data to frame the answers of those questions, and you might apply a framework or some way to interpret all the data that you've been able to get. And again, you're also looking to really draw conclusions. So once you have the data, either survey results or interview notes or numeric data, like test results, you really want to have a method to apply to summarize that data. And the method that you use varies by whether you have quantitative data, which might be from testing or numeric counts of something or tracking data, or qualitative data that you might have gotten from focus groups or interviews or open-ended questions or listening sessions. So there are a couple of examples we wanted to sort of give you an idea of how those questions might be analyzed. So we have two. One is a little bit more quantitative and one is qualitative. So the first one that we're looking at, which is what are the characteristics of participants in the STEM partnership, and do these characteristics influence the amount of participation? So that's the quantitative question that we're asking. And the study design is much more descriptive. So you're asking, when we say descriptive, we're talking about, well, what are the characteristics? Who might they actually be? And it might include demographic data. And then, of course, the data type that you're going to be getting might be frequencies, counts, numerics. And then when you're looking at the analysis of this kind of data, you're looking at the displaying counts or percentages, and you've seen them often in tables, or you might see them in histograms for each group and how often they participated. So a lot of times when people ask for descriptive data or demographic data, they're actually asking you for quantitative data, and those data are based on looking at characteristics and describing how things are. The second type of question that we have here is what motivates stakeholders to participate in the STEM partnership? Now, the study design is exploratory, meaning that we're trying to get a sense of what all might be the issues that people might be motivated to actually participate. So the design is much more exploratory because we're not necessarily saying that anybody has a particular way of doing things. We're trying to figure out exactly what all people might be doing and the different ways they might be doing it. So the data type, qualitative. And the way we analyze it would be summarizing main themes and categories using representative quotations. So in this case, and you've seen them in a lot of instances, where you get actual quotes from people and finding out that there may be a running theme of how people are reacting to their participation in STEM partnerships. So those are a couple of examples of the questions and analyses, both quantitative and qualitative, that you can kind of think through.